and welcome to Diecast Restos. My name is Jason and this is a Volvo 1800S by Lone Star. It was first unveiled in 1967 for their Impy Roadmaster supercars line, as presented here. These models all came in varying shades of white, from cream to light grey. As you can see, they had opening doors, bonnets and boots, in keeping with much of the rest of the range. Mine is looking untidy, missing one of the dual headlights, and has a number of areas of paint loss. Here's how it should look, just with a wheel variation. And this is a real Volvo P1800S that it is based on. One of the drawbacks to all of those opening features is that the design gets a bit distorted. As such, this isn't one of the best models by Lone Star by some margin. The belt line for me looks too high, creating a bit of a squished cabin and making the front and rear look like they are sagging from the side profile. That said, I'm still a big Lone Star fan and I do actually like this model. The grille looks excellent. I like the dual headlights and the rear end is much better than the Corgi Juniors or Rockets equivalent. I have worked on that model before as a build-off custom with Rob from Matchbox Garage. That was in the early days of the channel though, and my effort was pretty tame. Still, if you want to watch that video, I will leave a link here. There were a few variations on interior colour on the Impy models. Certainly blue and green interiors exist, but perhaps there are more. Likewise, the Impy model can be found with knobbly or smooth tyres, or with the push-fit wheels or Matchbox style bird axles. Due to the plastic suspension and axle retainers attached to the base, I decided to use liquid paint stripper as that tends to be gentler on plastics. The 1800S model joined Lone Star's 15 other car models in conversion to the low friction Flyers series in December 1968. These wheels were designed to hit back at Mattel's instant grip on the market with their Hot Wheels range. Lone Star had early success with the Flyers range, beating Matchbox by several months before the Superfast line arrived. With the transition, existing Impy models were given a makeover. Along with the low friction wheels and flathead screw base attachment came a variety of metallic colours for most models. The Volvo was no different, but as far as I can tell, only metallic red or a salmon pink shade were offered. It was sold in this guise until 1976, when the Flyers range was discontinued in favour of the reintroduced and simplified Impy line. As for the real Volvo P1800, it was first mooted in 1957, as the company wanted a sports car to compete in the European and US markets. This despite their failed P1900 sports car, which sold just 68 models. The design was by Pelle Pettersson, under the tutelage of Pietro Frua. Frua's studio was a subsidiary of Ghia, and rather bizarrely, Volvo didn't acknowledge it as Pettersson's design until 2009. They insisted it was an Italian design for 52 years. 3 prototypes were built between September 1957 and September 1958. Carmen were going to build the car initially, until owner Volkswagen forbade it. It looked as if the project was dead in the water. However, after a press release surfaced featuring the P1800, Volvo had to acknowledge its existence. It then made its first public appearance at the 1960 Brussels Motor Show. Jensen Motors were approached by Volvo to construct the P1800, with a contract agreed for 10,000 cars to be made. The first production P1800 left Jensen's West Bromwich factory in September 1960. It featured an 1800cc 100 horsepower 4-cylinder engine. There were quality control problems with production at Jensen, so the contract was ended early with 6,000 cars built. Production switched to Gothenburg in 1963 and the car's name was changed to 1800S, S to represent Sweden. Throughout the years of production of the 1800S in Sweden, its power was uprated, first by 8 horsepower, then by another 7 in 1966, before the 1800 unit was replaced by a 2-litre engine in 1969 producing 118 horsepower. The 1800S name remained. In 1970, the 1800E launched, which was fuel injected. This produced 130 horsepower and had all-round disc brakes. Volvo's final variant was the 1800ES in 1972. This had a redesigned body with a two-door shooting brake style and a frameless glass tailgate. This style was copied on the later Volvo 480 and C30. Power output was reduced to 125 horsepower on this model. Volvo pulled the plug on the P1800 project in 1973, with the stricter American safety and emission standards proving too much of a cost to redesign the low-volume 1800ES. Total production was 47,492 units in 12 years of manufacture. It had no direct successor. The car received early prominence after it became the star car in the 1962-1969 TV series The Saint. It was driven by Simon Templar, played by Roger Moore prior to his James Bond days. Moore actually purchased a P1800 for himself in the same colour as his TV car. And a 1966 P1800S, driven and owned by Irv Gordon, holds the Guinness World Record for highest mileage. Gordon began driving the car in 1966, reaching the million-mile mark in 1987. It received the Guinness record in 1998 with 1.69 million miles clocked. They hit 2 million miles in 2002, and in 2013, with 2.9 million miles done, Volvo began a PR campaign with the car in North America. It hit 3 million miles in Alaska in September of that year. When Gordon died in 2018, the car had driven more than 3.2 million miles, more than 5.1 million kilometers. Anyway, here's my model as it looked earlier. Missing a dual headlight and patches of paint, this little Lone Star was ready for a little attention. While it isn't the most accurate casting in the world, you have to admire the Impy line for the play value offered with all of the opening parts. I enhanced mine with a few extra touches of trim detailing, and this is how it now looks. I've given it a good coating of Ford Ivory White and trimmed the front fully in Molotow Chrome. The chrome is dulled when coated with the clear lacquer, so it appears similar to its original silver trim again. I gave the rear the added tail light touches and a bit more trim to the license plate and bumpers. It's hard to tell exactly what trim the Impy cars left the factory with, but I think the additions are in keeping with the spirit of the model and Lone Star. Finally, I added some fresh new dual headlights that bring it to life and give it so much character. So tell me what you think of this restoration come resto mod. Leave your thoughts in the comments, a like, and don't leave without subscribing. So many viewers aren't, and it just takes one click to really help out the channel. So stay tuned to see this model with all parts open, but that's it from me for today. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.